Live from the village in the sky, this is Soft Power Hour. Welcome, everyone, to the Church of Soft Power. My name is Siobhan, and I'm one of the founding artists here at Our Lay-led Church for the Spirits of Creativity, Connection, Care, and Change. Soft Power Hour is our live stream service gathering on the first Monday of the month here on Soft Power TV for an hour of connection with our community, breath, bodies, spirits, and whatever else pops up. And I'm joined live tonight by my co-founders, Midori and Flo. And shout out to Dr. Kiki for that intro, along with ADV. We'll have to credit them in the show notes. I forgot to put it in prior. But that is an original theme song for Soft Power Hour. So give it up for Dr. Kiki, the voice doula. I see you in the chat there. And ADV on that gorgeous opening. And I invite y'all to join me now as we tap into the frequency. And so our ritual tap in to usually starts with us singing three notes together. And today I'm really feeling the heart chakra, loudly. And so we're going to sing an ah syllable. And so if this is your first time joining us, how we do is I'm going to sing the syllable and invite you to join me in unison. And then on the second and third time, inviting you to either sing it again with me in unison or take it where you feel harmonizes. And that could be with your body, with your voice, with your hands, whatever that means for you. And so exhaling and shaking off anything that you have brought with you as we arrive and taking in together the freshest breath we've taken in today. And let that breath go all the way till it gets a little uncomfy. I'm kind of having some breathing. My lungs are, I don't know, I'm a little congested today. So your note might go longer than mine. Let's take our second breath. And as your note keeps going, imagining your voice clearing out anything between you and this channel here that we have between us as we all arrive here. And we are now tapped into the soft power frequency. I'm so happy to be here this month. Last month I wasn't able to join, and tonight Dr. Kiki is joining from the chat and receiving. And so just seeing everybody in here, what's up to the Holy Haunted, to Mr. May, as I pull our opening card for this month. This month we've got the Taurus full moon on Wednesday. And when I asked our resident astrologer, Midori, for just some words on what energy might be coming up, something she mentioned was this need for coming together right now and connection. And when I think about that, I'm really thinking about that importance through the nervous system, and how being in connection with each other, with the earth, with our spirits, can co-regulate and bring us to this neutral place that our nervous systems like to be at in order to be open to change, open to hearing our inner guidance. And that's really the intention of tonight's ritual, is to just give us some time to utilize these practices to hear where we're being called right now. Because the other thing Midori said was the theme of breaking out of the binary, breaking out of this trap of making the right or wrong decisions, the good or bad choices for what this moment is asking of us right now. And so I wanted to open with that because it feels really important, really relevant to the moment, as so much change is available to us right now. And so just taking a breath for that as we pull from Caitlin Grania's Offerings Oracle deck for the offerings. Oh, and I see the Mother of Mystics in the chat. We always pull a deck, and this is the one that's speaking loudly lately. This one's always within arm's reach. So, our card tonight for the offerings being asked of us here as a community by the church is prayer. Prayer. And so let this be our prayer for the next, not the full hour. We're already 6.5 minutes in, but for the rest of our time together at Soft Power Hour, this is our prayer in action. This is our chance to use our voice. And so I just want to open that actually to invite y'all to drop in the chat any intentions that you want to uplift tonight, any prayers that you want to amplify as we are all present here with our heart energy, with our witnessing power. And that's something that's really valued here at Church of Soft Power is the magical properties of witnessing one another in our truths and our desires and our named intentions. And so please, if you would like, throw it in the energy bank. And if you're watching back later, throw it in the comments. And we always enchant the frequency of these airwaves to amplify whatever those intentions are. And as a founding artist team, we share our intentions with one another before we begin. And so I'm seeing some coming through, and we'll be sharing them on the screen as I pass it over to Flo for our movement ritual.
Thank you, Siobhan. Hi, everyone. I'm Flo of Soap Bloom, one of the co-founding artists, and I'm going to lead us through a guided movement practice. Feel free to follow along or simply just listen to your body and drop in and move intuitively. So let's start our practice with some grounding breaths. So start to connect with your breath, breathing in through your nose. Exhale out the mouth to clear and cleanse. Sigh it out. Exhaling and expelling all of the old energy out the mouth. Open mouth. Exhale. Release any audible breaths. Breathing in through your nose, breathing in your prayers, breathing in your intentions, whatever you're amplifying in your life in this chapter. Breathing in and filling your body up with those intentions. And feel free to place your hands anywhere on your body to connect deeper with yourself. And then transitioning to breathing in and out of the nose to ground and center. So breathing in and out the nose to help you anchor your breath into your body. Attuning to your body and your frequency. And there's nothing to do but to arrive in your body and to connect with your breath, to connect with yourself and your spirits. I'm going to play a song for our movement practice, for our guided practice. It's called A Slower Tempo. So that's going to be the theme for tonight's prayer and ritual. So continue breathing. Breathing in through your nose, out the mouth to clear and cleanse, releasing breaths. Breathing in and out the nose to ground and center. Giving yourself permission and space to slow down and move at a slower pace and slower tempo. Let's bring our hands at the heart center and charge our hands with the soft power chi, the soft power energy. Breathing your intentions, your prayers into your hands. For our prayer in action, we're going to send these intentions into our body, placing your hands on your neck for a self-massage. Torus rules the neck, massaging the front, the side, the back of the neck, opening up your throat. Release audible sounds with your breath. Feel free to give your scalp a massage, your ears, your jaw, just helping your facial, your head and neck to relieve tension. Massaging your clavicles, your shoulders. Just swipe down to clear and cleanse. Let's invite some movement into our practice. Let's start with our joints for some shoulder circles, staying connected with your breath. Increase the size of the circles, drawing circles with your elbows, just opening up the shoulder joints and the chest and the heart. Times. And then we're going to place our hands on the back of our head. We're going to open up the chest and the heart. Look up towards the sky. Open up your book. And then exhale, round your spine. Kiss your elbows. Come into a ball. Exhale, breathe. Inhale, open up towards the sky. Expand with your breath. Moving at your own pace. Exhale, release and let go. Close your book. Closing this chapter. 2 more times. Inhale to expand and look up towards the sky. Opening up the heart. Exhale, close. Last time together. Inhale, open up. Breathe in and exhale, close, round the spine. You can release your hands and your arms. Let's extend the legs forward if you're seated on the ground. You can also be seated in a chair or couch. We're going to just shake their legs, bringing some movement into the legs. Shaking the arms and the hands. Then we'll start to rotate the wrists and rotate the ankles. Going both sides. Extend. Point the feet, point the toes, extend the hands and fingers, and then contract. Open, contract. Open and contract. And then we're gonna forward fold. Seated forward fold. Just lean over. You don't have to go far. Drop your head and neck, move towards your knees. We're communicating to our body, to our nervous system, to rest, digest, relax. I can sigh it out here. Slowly rise again. And our last set of movement is some spinal movement. You're welcome to come into tabletop position, or you can stay seated. Do some spinal movement. Let's start with some seated cat-cow. So placing your hands on your knees, we're going to open up the chest, look up towards the sky, and then exhale around the spine, look down towards the ground. Connecting with your breath. Inhale to look up. Exhale to look down. Feel free to invite intuitive and fluid motion to the spine. The spine loves flowy motion. Body knows how to move and release. Feel free to do some spinal circles. You can rock left to right. Do this for 1 minute. You can rock left to right. Do some seated spinal circles. If you're in tabletop position, moving and exploring your spine, releasing tension in the spinal nerves. Okay, and you can continue to move your body throughout our ritual today, the Soft Power Sanctuary. Continue connecting with your breath, with your voice, with your body, journaling anything that comes up for you. And I'm going to transition our ritual to the next artist practitioner, priestess. Totally working transitions.
Doing great, Boo. Lovely. Thank you, Flo. That was just always needed. And thank you, everybody, for being here. It's so wonderful to see everyone's prayers in the chat box, the energy bank, as Flo has coined it. So I'm here just to drop us deeper. We've already been dropped into our creative rest through movement. And so I'm here to invite some stillness in this moment. So I'm going to play my favorite spiritual banger, which is Wisdom and Compassion by a Tibetan artist named Nawang. As a lot of the co-founders know, I am a big fan of flutes. So we're tuning into the elements and dropping into whatever position your body can fully drop into a space of perhaps stillness, or if you need to continue moving, you're totally invited and welcome to. And I just wanted to vulnerably share that I usually script a lot of my guided meditations, but I'm learning through actually Siobhan's leadership to really start trusting my voice and what comes through my unique body and channel. Not that scripting is wrong or anything, but I just feel like I'm getting more comfortable with trusting what wants to come through in the moment, especially attuning my nervous system more to this space. And it feels like we really have created this sanctuary on this Soft Power TV channel that I'm really proud that is going to continue to blossom. So all that to say is please inviting you to drop in, and maybe perhaps releasing some sounds, as Flo's already guided us to, but releasing maybe with feeling into our bodies, attuning to gravity, and maybe perhaps closing your eyes or leaving them at a low gaze. And this is just an opportunity to tune in to our inner worlds. Maybe this is the first time today that you've had a chance to tune into your inner world. Maybe you've been running around. So just wanting to give this space to really drop in and feel the weight of your body being supported by the earth. So what I'll invite in this meditation is visualizing in your mind's eye somewhere on the land that you're on. Perhaps it's the very room that you're in, but just picturing a natural space that you love and feel safe in. And just beaming your love to the land spirits, really grounding into the connection with the earth and all the mycelial networks that are below the surface, and feeling our interconnectedness with each other beyond time and space. Feeling how the land connects us, even under the oceans. The lands all connect. And the question that I want to center us today on is, what is your unique calling in this moment? Feeling rooted and grounded in our connection to the land that we're on and occupying, lands that we have ancestral connection to, and our connection with each other through the soft power frequency. Enveloping our fields in a cotton candy swath of love of our healed and well ancestors and the spirits that walk with us. May you remember that you are guided, protected, and loved, and here to walk this unique path personally and alongside others who are also following their unique calling. So going to leave us a few moments to just really ground into that calling that's present currently. Really feeling that frequency imbue and translate into your entire body. From the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Breathing in the love of the earth. And when you're ready, inviting you to put your hands at prayer at heart center. Feeling the connection of the extension of your heart space through the arms, connecting at your hands, integrating all of your parts together. You are whole. You are here now in this current moment. You are alive, and you're here to fulfill your unique frequency and purpose. Transitioning now, opening your eyes, maybe finding a little wiggle as you reintegrate. And taking a final breath together as we transition into our next portion of our programming.
Thank you, Midori. I'm going to just give us a moment of silence as I share more of these intentions and prayers tonight on the screen. Inviting y'all to take a sip of water, stay connected with your bodies as you re-arrive back here. And in the spirit of trusting my calling, which I heard again is just to share my voice, and trusting what is flowing through me, um, tonight's ritual is going to be shorter in the sense that we usually plan for a full hour, but we always trust exactly what is coming through. And what's really clear to me tonight is that we're all here. We're landing where we're supposed to be. And something that feels really important to say, especially seeing many of the individuals who are present from our village, is that this is a moment we've been preparing for. We have been moving toward something unknown, and we continue to move toward the unknown. And Church of Soft Power came together because um, Kiernan, Flo, Midori, and I were all in kind of the early mid parts of our Saturn returns, coming out of 2020, and not, I think it's only clicked literally this year what we've been moving towards, and maybe even just in the last few weeks, what we've been doing all along. And that feels like the message to continue to share here in Soft Power Hour, because when I think back to where I was when I met my co-founders, I was really awakening to the belief that I could have a hand in my own life and in my own fate, and that I was not just existing and subject to the world around me, that I could actually participate, and not only that I could, but that is my calling here, is to remember that I am an active creator of my own life. And what that looked like in the beginning, I shared this story last week in, if you're, I don't know, in my personal ventures in business, but it feels important to say here because it overlapped with when I had met specifically Kiki and Flo, and that was in 2021 when I got pregnant for the second time. As some of you know, I'm mother to one child, and in 2021, I took a leap to go full time on my personal business and almost immediately found out that I was pregnant. And I was met this was following, um, a discovery of the power of my own prayer that year, which was praying and telling I didn't know what exactly, but saying out loud that I was ready for my best life. And so, while many would think that to indicate posture to the universe that I'm ready for my best life and finding out I'm pregnant would be a happy moment, um, it actually was met with the shock of, my partner at the time not sharing the, um I don't know what I wanted, excitement or whatever. My initial reaction was that I wanted to have another child, but almost immediately everything around me started to change. People were vanishing from my life. The people that I had counted on, new people were entering my life that I had no idea would be here as my closest, um, co-creators years later. But I had just met Flo the month before. I had just met Kieran the month before. I had just reconnected with Midori after meeting some years before that. And throughout that whole process, I won't go into all the details, but what really became clear through the conversations with the spirit of, um, this whatever spirits were lingering around this pregnancy was that this was a moment that I had to actually make a choice outside of the binaries of right and wrong, outside of the binaries of good and bad and what made sense to me, because I knew that I could have a second child. I knew that I could figure it out, and that was how I'd always navigated my life, was that I'll figure it out, I'll find a way, and I always did. But this was the first moment in my life where I felt that I was really being asked to sit with what I desired and what I wanted for myself. And when I listened to it, it was to not have a child. It was to not go through that and to continue on this trajectory that I had been conditioned into around marriage and children and career and this fast track of the escalator of, kind of like heteronormative cis patriarchal life. And so I share this because that was the first moment where I made a decision that was considered bad by many, maybe good by some others, but it was my choice, and nobody could tell me to pick it other than myself, and to this day, it continues to be something that has had consequences, outcomes, repercussions that don't fall clearly into the right and wrong things. I still continue to wonder, and catch myself wondering if it was the right or wrong decision, what I chose to do, which was end that pregnancy. And this feels uncomfortable to say here in a live stream for my church, because I'm still undoing the binaries of what it means to be a spiritual person, to be a spirit driven and led person. And this feels very raw, but again, just trusting it. And thank you to Flo for putting me in that body state to hear myself, for Midori for leading me to hear myself, and, to trust myself to share this, because I think the point is that there's no right or wrong. There's just a decision and the things that follow. And there are going to be dissenting opinions. There are going to be moments and aspects that maybe show me that something else was possible and peeks through the other doors that were potentially opened, through that and closed. But I really feel that I'm being asked to share this at this moment because I really believe that we're in the moment where we're making these big choices of the trajectories of our lives in this like collective moment, where many can feel a world ending, but are in denial about it, where many of us here know where we are, know what we see for the future. Um, and even our closest loved ones may not believe us. But I know that if you're here, you're deeply intuitive and you're deeply connected, not only to yourself here. Maybe not as much into what you're doing here in this life yet, and you're still discovering, but at least you've followed those steps and made the choices align for you in that moment that led you to the next one, that led you to the person who would help you open that door, to the community that would validate your existence and validate your perceptions of what's occurring. And that's enough. That's the message from the spirits today, is like, that's it. This is how we navigate and can navigate these big moments, is taking the pressure off this right or wrong. Like, one, even if I, didn't make that decision and went the other route, I can't know what path was going to lead me to where I'm at now, but I trust in my heart it was going to push me closer to myself. And so I think we used to talk about this a lot in the earlier days, Midori and I, when we started streaming on Tapped In, about this unraveling of everything that we knew to be true, and this first death that we had to undergo. And that felt so terrifying, because in a culture so disconnected from the cycles of life, to feel an ending can sometimes truly feel like the end of our worlds, can truly feel like we are dying. And I just want to bring that back into our culture and name that here, that death and birth and all these things are hand in hand, and that one death, once we get through that first shedding, we get to discover what's on the other side. We get to discover our power and our participation in the co-creation. And I just feel so proud to now be here, and to see what it led to be here with all of you and the viewers that we could, we see a little viewer tick here, and I see my co-founders' faces, and I feel the presence of Kiki. And yeah, and even with that, there's no right way to end this little spiel. But I just know somebody might need to hear today that it's safe to make a change. It's safe to step into the death of an era, um, and that the wheel will keep turning whether we choose to participate or not, and that you never know what it could lead to if you follow that intuitive hit of who to connect with, what to release, what to seed. And I don't know, just let it be a fun, delightful, playful process, because it has been. This process has been filled with so much fun and laughter. And that's what's kept me regulated to keep making my decisions. And that's my share. That's my share tonight. So thank you for listening. Thank you for receiving. And I'm going to pass it to Midori for our community update and closing. We're headed towards our closing. I don't know if there's any other intuitive hits from my co-founders of what needs to be said here tonight, but today feels so tender. Today feels like this full moon in Taurus. Maybe Midori has more on that, but to me, it feels like the materialization of these dreams and visions that's available to us. This concept of the veil being thin, to me, I'm seeing that as like these dreams are close, and I just want to yank them towards earth, um, and keep planting these seeds and letting them grow. And so, every person in here, every person in the chat sharing, I'm so grateful for you. Some I've met recently, some we've been in connection for some years now, and each of you have rippled impact into my life, and I know I could speak for the co-founders, that you've all really, really changed our lives and been those mirrors that we've needed to keep going every time y'all reflect to us that what we do matters. Because it's not a logical thing sometimes what we do here. It has been against all logic to pour what we have into this church, but we've followed it and we've trusted it. And I think seeing who's here, feeling the power of who's present tonight is really the proof that the four of us have been longing for a while, to validate in some ways that it's important that we keep doing this and keep showing up. So just on behalf of the team, thank you all.
I love you, Bonnie. And I have a sound to wait, is that loud enough? Hold on. Flo found this before we started streaming, and I feel like it's the perfect sound for this moment. And that, my friends, is the sermon by Siobhan Diores that we needed tonight. Thank you so much. My name and alter ego in this current moment is Mimi, and I'm here to just tap in on our community update, transition us into how y'all can stay connected to the frequency and what we have going on. Like Bonnie said, we have been gathering every single week at least 2 to 3 times. Okay. And so we always have a lot of opportunities to stay connected. This Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, we have our full moon writing circle with Empowered. This is a really powerful space to body double writing through an astrological lens. Nathaniel is a powerful astrologer. And I love showing up to that space because the shares are always so raw and tender. They really create a beautiful space to share. So I highly recommend showing up to that. We have co-working at 11 a.m. after that. So that goes, the writing circle goes from 9 to 10:15 a.m. And then right after that, we jump into 11 a.m. co-working every Wednesday in the sanctuary from 11 to 12:30. The following Monday, we have Soul Spa, November 10th, with Siobhan Diores, who facilitates a really beautiful grounding space to tap in with your spirits, your calling, and it's just a very restful, nonverbal space. And she usually pulls cards at the end, and that's always a really beautiful message. So tap into that next Monday. We have Soul Spark activation the following Monday on the 17th, which is with me. We do some expressive arts guided by oracle card divination, which I love to facilitate because the people that show up there every week, I swear there's always like a new person joining the field, and it's just always such a really beautiful surprise. And just beautiful to see what people create in that space. And then the last Monday of every month, we have our Village in the Sky Members Social, which is a space for members to connect, to share what's been up with them. Our last space was so sweet because it was me, Kiki, Siobhan, Janae, and Merrick, who are all members in our village, and it was just such a sweet space. It felt like a little coven meeting. So if you are not a member of Village in the Sky, which is our free membership, you can tap into our website, and on the calendar event, there's a link to the application. So the requirements for that is just attending at least one virtual gathering, just to know what we're about, to feel the frequency, to see if it's a fit for you to join. Would love for y'all to join that. Benefits of joining Village in the Sky is that you get emails in your inbox as reminders that events are going on, as well as access to our Discord. So highly recommend y'all join that if you like our spaces and want to keep tapped in. And yeah, we have just to plug that, our alter ego debut variety is December 14th. So mark your calendars. more info coming soon on that. It's going to be, we have over 20 performers stepping on stage. And the Wu Priestesses, who is the founder's alter egos, will be stepping on stage as well. So we've been planning, starting to really incubate what that's going to be for us as well. So we're really excited for all the magic. It's a spell. It's a community spell, y'all. So if you've never been to an alter ego show, mark your calendars, stay tuned on our mailing list and Instagram for more information. And that's pretty much it. I'll tap us out. I'm transitioning. Mimi McGuire is now tapping out, and Midori is stepping back on stage for a little prayer outro. Oh my gosh, my Gemini self really comes in. That's when I have to transition to my this outro prayer for us to just really ground in to this moment, to y'all, yeah, this week specifically, I think is just going to feel, there's an intensity I think I feel with the power and presence of our ancestors. So just really calling in the support of all our healed and well ancestors in this moment, the ones that have their hand on our backs, that walk with us, blessing and protecting all those who are experiencing just the vice grip of the empire and all the hard powers, just really sending loves and heart beams and nourishment to all those who are needing resources, food, housing, their basic needs met. I'm just really praying for continual fortification of our networks of care in this moment. When we remember that we have each other, and to keep our hearts open, to remember what our unique callings are so that we can really just join forces. And it's what it's all about, y'all. So tapping us out here to call your energy back to you. And yeah, just stay focused, stay grounded in your body, stay grounded in your practices. We're here, we're queer, and we're ready for the moment, y'all. Passing it back to Bonnie to close us out.
Taking a breath for every intention lifted here tonight. Thank you for bringing your gifts and your magic, Flo, Mimi, myself, and we're now closing this portal and sending y'all out to be your creative, beautiful selves, and we hope to connect with y'all soon. Thank you. Last step, pose for the ancestors.